So normally the way it works is if the Democrats are in control, one Democrat, say Joe Manchin, can stop them from accomplishing virtually anything. He can stand in the way of it, never has to answer for it, and he never really gets criticized for it. Well, most of that is still true. But in this case, he is actually being criticized at least a little bit, in this case by Bernie Sanders, as you'll see.
You got 50 people in the Republican caucus. We have gotten no support from them to lower the cost of prescription drugs, to expand Medicare. So you got 50 Republicans who are not prepared to do anything for the environment of working families. You got 48 people in the Democratic caucus who are prepared, and a president of the United States prepared to think big. And you have 2 Democrats who, in my view, are kind of acting like Republicans. And to me, I respect other people's points of view, but I do not respect the arrogance of any member of the Senate who says, you know what, I'm going to torpedo this entire bill, supported overwhelmingly by the American people. And you got 2 people who say, you know what, hey, if you don't do it my way, I don't care what the president wants, I don't care what 48 of my colleagues want, it's my way or the highway. And that I regard as arrogance.
Certainly, arrogance in terms of presentation backed up by a whole bunch of corruption and lack of interest in democracy, representing people or doing what's necessary to benefit their constituents. So Manchin, as of right now, has once again thrown, I guess, into jeopardy, as if anybody was expecting the Build Back Better to be passed this year. It's not gonna be. He wants either the expanded child tax credit to be taken out or basically everything else, or I would guess everything altogether to be passed, taken out of it, because he doesn't care, he's not interested. And so it's not getting passed this year. The closer we get to the midterms, I don't know why that would strike us as increasing the chance that it'll get passed. And so things are not looking good for Build Back Better. If only someone had predicted that they wouldn't actually make progress on this if they decided to do the bipartisan one first.
I wonder who could have predicted that. Okay, so by the way, we're not like yes, us, but really the 6 Just Democrats who voted no, because they said, if you give Manchin the infrastructure bill he wants, of course he's gonna destroy the other bill. They were right. Not one person in Washington has given them credit, even though it is indisputable. Yeah. Okay, so now on Bernie. Look, I love that he's being more aggressive, because what do you have to lose anyway? Manchin just killed it. They said they were gonna pass it by Christmas. Now that's not the case. Once you blow past the deadline and you don't put a new deadline on it, nah. And how are you gonna get past either child tax credit or nothing else, or no child tax credit? I mean, it's so eviscerated. What they wanted to do was eviscerate it and then pass like a sham version that actually did 1 or 2 good things and then call it historic. Oh my God, it's like the most important thing in the world. Now Manchin and Sinema are ruining that. They're not even gonna be able to pass a mirage. So that's part of the why they're angry. So Bernie Sanders says, well, we got nothing left to lose. All right, I'll go on TV and I'll take a couple of shots at him. So is that correct? Yes, good. That is a very positive step forward. Is calling him arrogant and Republican-like that big a deal? No. So how would you actually move him? You would start talking about his corruption. And then he'd catch all sorts of feelings. And then he would pretend, oh, I was gonna pass it, but now I'm not going to. And then you go and hit him again and again and again. And you talk about his coal company. You talk about his daughter who stole from the people of West Virginia, got a golden parachute and outsourced jobs from West Virginia. You start talking about all those things. You're gonna catch his attention, and all of a sudden you're back in negotiations, okay? But Bernie, I mean, I would be shocked if he had that in him, and certainly no one else has that in him in Congress. So no, they'll take a couple of tweaks. Manchin will be fine. He'll go back on his yacht. That's also half hybrid. It's a hybrid. It's good for the environment. It's a hybrid between a yacht and a mansion. And he'll drive his Maserati there. He'll be fine. But I want to give credit where credit is due. At least Bernie's on the right path.
Yeah.
He is, and I got to tell you, it's a little disappointing that that's what the president should be doing, right? I mean, I know Biden can't get as mean as Bernie was in that segment, but Biden has that bully pulpit that is just gathering dust right now. This should be the job of the president to go out there to the public and sell his policy, sell his bills to them, and let them know, hey, I'm waiting to give this to you, but they are saying you can't have it. So maybe we need to put some pressure on them. That is the president's job, to sell this. It's great that Bernie's out there doing this. It's wonderful that he's talking about this, that he's calling them out, that he's with the striking workers in Michigan, while we have this other guy who says, no, I don't like this. Oh, and by the way, also this week, Manchin comes out and says, nope, I'm not gonna support your ban on drilling in the Arctic. So sorry, I'm killing that as well. That's another one that kind of flies under the radar there. But Manchin's killing everything that he can get his hands on because of his financial interest here, because of his donors, because of all of it.
Yeah.
And I do think it's time that he gets called out for it by the people in power. We do it all the time, but sometimes you got to have the big guys, the big wigs up there, making those same claims to the public, to a much larger audience, so that people wake up and understand what's really happening and why they can't have these nice things that they need, not just that they want, that they need, so they can survive in this country today.
Yeah. And we're not seeing, aside from like Bernie, there's this code of honor. You wouldn't besmirch them. You certainly wouldn't point out that one representative is corrupt, because then you could be attacked in the exact same way. The media is not gonna do it because of a generalized lack of interest. If you're making $5 million a year, the prospect of losing your tax credit seems pretty meaningless. You don't care about $300 a month. And you're certainly worried, as the politicians are, the rich politicians, of your taxes going up. And so there is this unspoken alliance between the media, of which they love to make these distinctions supposedly between left and right mainstream media, like CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. They go to the same dinner parties. It's the same people. They just disagree a little bit on maybe the LGBTQ issues, and that's basically it. And so it doesn't matter to Manchin that 1/4 of all seniors in West Virginia don't have any of their natural teeth. He didn't care. He got rid of dental coverage from the bill. He doesn't care that 1/6 of his constituents, not constituents technically, but the people living in West Virginia are kids who would be benefited by this child tax credit. He's gonna screw them all over, and we know economically West Virginia is doing really badly. Like, there's no expectation that it could hurt him in any way. It's not gonna hurt him financially. Passage would hurt him, and it's not gonna hurt him politically. You remember when Sinema did her little thumbs down, and she was really like spitting in our face, and some polls came out and showed that it was hurting her approval? Have you seen anything like that out of West Virginia? Like, he's been just as much a roadblock to virtually every part of Biden's agenda. And it seems like he's probably gonna be just fine come re-election.
You know why? Because the twirling thumbs down got a lot of press. And then people are like, oh, what's she saying thumbs down to? Oh, higher wages. Oh, I hate her, right? Whereas with Manchin, they never lay a glove on him. So they're like, yeah, they talk about Manchin. They got like older Democratic voters that watch MSNBC are mad at Manchin, but like they never go to West Virginia. They never actually like get his actual constituents, because they're all corrupt. So they don't want to talk about, you know what Manchin just did? He just robbed you of lower drug prices because he takes tons of money from drug companies. So he wants you to pay more. Well, MSNBC can't say that. That's all their advertisers. Right? And Menendez can't say that. I pick a random Democratic senator, because he takes maybe more money from drug companies than Manchin does. And by the way, Bernie's wrong about one thing. He thinks, my God, it's just Manchin and Sinema that's blocking this, and 48 senators and the president agrees. I love you, brother, but that just isn't true. Biden agrees more with Manchin than he does with his own so-called agenda. He kind of halfway loves that Manchin is killing all these progressive proposals that Biden never believed in, right? And the plan was always to have Manchin to kill most of them. He's just killing too many. So that's the only disagreement there. And if it wasn't Manchin or Sinema, and they always say, oh, elect more Democrats. My ass, under Obama, we had 60 Democrats in the Senate. We had a super majority. They couldn't even use the filibuster. And you got Mitt Romney's healthcare plan. That's a fact. And that's all you got. They didn't do any other reforms. They didn't even increase the minimum wage. They didn't do anything. If you got rid of Manchin and Sinema, another two would pop up. Oh, well, it turns out it's Coons and Carper. Oh, nobody could have seen this. Give us more Democrats. Wink, wink. Get out of here. So until Bernie and the rest of the progressives in Congress rhetorically take on their colleagues, their corrupt Democratic colleagues, you're never gonna see any actual movement, because you're not gonna move the national conversation.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like you pointed out, you do kind of have to have somebody that is pure, because otherwise they're going to throw it right back at you. You know, you can't attack this guy's fossil fuel donations when you're taking just as much. You can't go after the big pharma donations when they're your top donor. So you do have to either get money out of politics, and we know these people are not going to move on that, or you have to be able to support these politicians. And hopefully we get a hell of a lot more of them coming up in 2022 that aren't taking the corporate money, you know, really pure politicians. I mean, that's what has to happen. And unfortunately, to go that route, which is what we do have to do here, that's still gonna take so many cycles before we finally get things going here. And a lot of people don't have that time to wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys,
you know, I don't have another answer for it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a tiny bit of hope, and then we gotta go. So look, first of all, if you wanna get money out of politics, wolf-pac.com, left wing, right wing, it doesn't matter. We hate the corruption. Number two, look, I started Wolfpack, I also started Just Democrats, and there was one rule I insisted on. It was no corporate PAC money. So you're not waiting for politicians to act out of the goodness of their heart. It's a rule, you cannot take it, otherwise you're not a Just Democrat. And what happened? The 6 that voted no and voted the right way on the infrastructure bill were all Just Democrats who don't take corporate PAC money. So it actually can work, it has worked, we just need to make it larger. And get a load of this, guys. The future is completely ours. Do you know what percentage of the country is under 55? It's 61%. Now you're not surprised by that. You know, obviously most people are under 55. Okay, do you know what percentage of people that read the Washington Post are under 55 years old? 14%. So mainstream media has nothing but 70-year-olds watching it and reading it. So they are huge voters, but tick, 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 tick. I'm no offense to the older voters, okay? And we have plenty of older viewers and we love them, and they're actually some of the most progressive people on earth, okay? But generally speaking, those older voters watch Rachel Maddow, and she sheep herds them right into Pelosi and Schumer and Biden, Hillary Clinton, and they're very powerful today because they vote in much greater numbers. But there's not that many of them. And every day, less people watch mainstream media, less people read mainstream media, because the real problem is mainstream media poisoning people's minds with, oh, corporate Democrats surrender to the Republicans is a great idea, they're geniuses. No, you need an actual fighter on our side who says, no, surrendering to corporate rule is not genius. It has destroyed the Democratic Party. Let's fight back. The minute the fight back starts in earnest is the minute we start winning.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.